Hey there, everyone.
Okay, hey
This
everybody,
is.
well, you do
Go
it.
ahead. It's all right. This is Annalisa with Inside Real Estate here with Ryan Hartman, and we wanted to welcome you to our success webinar for kvCORE website customizations to get you up and running. It's over to you, Ryan.
Yep, so I'm going to attempt today to drive this one. Annalisa, you've played with the website customizations probably a little bit more than I have, but so bear with me, everybody. But I'm going to walk you through everything in kvCORE on specifically the website. If we go to Web and IDX
Mm-hmm.
inside here, and then we click on edit settings. So we're going to be talking about some of the design stuff you can do today, just some of the bells and the switches and toggles, what they mean, what they can do. And then toward the end, I'm going to riff a little bit on some of the some third-party scripts and stuff that you can install in some of these different boxes as well.
Yep.
Sound good?
And yeah, I think it's awesome. And we did drop the link to this doc within the little chat bubble that goes out to all of you via GoToWebinar. If someone could just type a little question saying, yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can see your shared screen. That way we'll know we are good to go.
Yep, and as Annalisa mentioned, you'll have the doc. The recordings of these are always accessible from insiderealestate.com/webinars, and we have a few hundred sessions like this there now
Mm-hmm.
across all different kinds of topics. So do make sure that you're aware of that link. If you're ever bored on a Saturday or sitting in an open house, you can check in on an old webinar. We have lots of great stuff there, and make sure everybody on your team is plugged into these because it'll help you all make more money, we think.
Right. I mean, that's always a good plan, right?
Yep. So let's go ahead now and get back in here. And I'm not gonna look at the doc, Annalisa. You're gonna keep me honest, but I'm gonna kind of just scroll through and
Uh-huh.
talk about what each of these things are and maybe some best practices. So
Sure.
first off is pretty straightforward, the background image on your site. Now you can choose from one of our templates, or you can go ahead and upload your own, which is really cool. And it says here, use exactly 1600 by 650 for best results.
Yes, that's really, really important. And the neat thing here is you can upload many photos and you can click those little radio buttons and choose multiple photos. And what'll happen is every time a consumer's at your site and they refresh the page or change the page, it's going to update that homepage photo. So it kind of
Oh,
keeps things a little different. It'll update as they refresh their page and so forth.
that's why I wanted you here. So I did not know this. You can check box
Mm-hmm.
and it'll rotate.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then that
It's
includes your own images that you upload?
right. And then the ones that you upload here always land at the very bottom of that list. So in the photo
Okay.
list there above, everything you
Yep.
add ends up at the bottom.
I can't help myself. This might take forever today, but I'm going to go ahead really quickly and open up Google Drawings and
Sure.
show
Oh,
everybody
this is
really quick
awesome.
how to make a 1600 by 650 image. So I'm
Awesome.
going to Google Draw, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to under File and Page Setup. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, Ryan, you're going way too fast on the replay, you can always slow down Google YouTube by clicking the gear at the bottom right, and I'll do this, and you can watch it over and over. But I'm going to go to a lot covered today. So custom, right here, I went to Page Settings, under File, it was 1600 by 650. 1600 by 650. Apply. And then I'm going to show you another one of my favorite hacks for real estate websites. I'm going to go to Google Maps.
And it sounds like maybe you might be breaking up just
Drag
a
it over.
tidbit there, Ryan.
I know why.
Because you're on Google?
Because
No.
I went too fast.
Oh, slow
That
down.
too, Google Maps. So I bogged down to the webinar. I'm sorry, guys. When I click too many links, I know it slows things down. So I'm going to print screen this. I'm going to copy it. I'm doing a screen capture. I'm going to paste it in here.
And this is a tool that, you know, as you've learned how to do this within the Google Draw, this is something you can use within your advertisements going forward, creating different types of landing page images, what have you. So it's got many, many purposes of which you can apply this skill once you've got it down.
Yeah, so I went on a little tangent, but there we go. I just uploaded it. And now it'll show as an image on my site. It says it might take a few minutes. It'll show in this rotation. As Annalisa said, it actually showed up top, so I don't know
Okay.
why. But,
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Sure. It's there.
Yep, it's there. So then when I go to my site really quickly, my demo site here, it could cache, or maybe I should check it. There you go.
Yeah, you have to check it.
Yeah.
And it may be cached. Oh, there we go.
There we go. So quick and dirty. You know, I did that really fast, but you can take an interior shot. You know, you can use the map trick.
Yep.
But there we go. Okay. So, and the rotation is a very good tip. Now, what is this secondary logo, Annalisa?
So the secondary logo is something that's usually going to be inherited from your parent site. So you have that main broker seat, or, you know, the main entity of the company, which is the brokerage, and then everything within that has seats, whether it be an admin, a team, an agent, all of those may inherit that secondary logo if the broker has added one. Now, we do say that if you're a fan of Borat, you can Google those and then add one of those photos as your secondary logo. But we would recommend something maybe that speaks to your business. But basically, I mean, it could. Oh, there we go. It's perfect. So when you are looking at using these logos, we do really recommend that you double check with your broker first to see if they would like you to override that logo. So always double check that information.
So practical use, you have your company logo there, but maybe you want to do your headshot next or something like that.
Yeah.
Or your headshot would probably show the profile, right?
Well, you do have the ability to hide that. So it just depends on the final outlook or of what you'd like to see on your site.
Okay.
Well, so many possibilities. Yeah.
Cool. Hide resources page. This one should be easy. Here's the resources.
Right.
And I can just toggle that off if I want.
Yep. Yes or no. Yep.
Hide millions mapped. Where's that?
It usually shows up as a call to action towards the bottom and on the listings. So, and this is important for folks out there because there's some MLS out there that do not allow the use of millions mapped. So that may be something that if you're aware of that, then you can change that to hide it so it doesn't show up as a call to action to download the app. Currently, if someone goes to your site and your MLS doesn't accept millions mapped, the system will actually send that person back to your URL. So it's always going to send someone back to you. But in this case, instead of the app, it'll just send them right back to your website.
Gotcha. I'm going to opt into my site real quick here so this stops happening. Just give it a fake number like everybody else.
Right.
All right. Okay, so that's hide millions mapped. Hide office information. I'm not sure that's going to always be permitted, but you can, right?
For the time being, it's there. Yep.
So where was that showing up?
That is normally going to show up. I believe it's usually at the very bottom left corner of the website.
Okay.
So like the kvCORE key for IRE, that kind of info right there.
Okay. Yeah. So in most cases, I don't think in most states, I think you need to have the broker's name somewhere, don't you?
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's mandated for compliance.
Yeah, so it's there. Hide print flyer button. This is if you, I assume, on individual listings.
Correct.
So if I go to view details, if we don't want to allow this listing to be printed as a flyer. I didn't know that this existed as an option, and this is actually really handy for us here. I could see just printing one of these out, taking it to the open house.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, and the neat thing here is if you have a PDF editor, what I've been told is you can actually pull that in and edit anything you'd like on that if you have a PDF
Cool.
editor.
So in Adobe, you can knock this out. Yeah, I like this. You can take it to events. For those of you guys who are doing flea markets and things like that, you just print out real quick for a few listings on your way out the door. That's really cool. So you can turn that off if you want. You might not want people doing that, and it's an option.
Right.
Here's a big one that I don't want to get too far into, but we'll mention quickly. It's an important setting that people wonder about. It's how to mandate phone on sign up, right?
Right. You know, there's a lot of feelings over mandating phone numbers. You know, you can opt to yes mandate, no do not mandate. I'd say if you're really your heart's really set on mandating, just do a test, do an A to B test run so you can compare your results from mandating or not mandating. And of course, always do what's best for your business. What are your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, so I come at it from the paid traffic perspective where, you know, our advertising department is running lots of Google and Facebook pay-per-click. And in my experience, if you mandate the phone, you're going to get about half as many leads, but you will get accurate phone numbers because people are willing to give them in a good percentage of times, but you'll still also get fakes. My personal take on it is to leave that off, let people register with just the email, but use the automation to convert them and rely heavily on both the email follow-ups, drip follow-ups, your content creation, and more and more retargeting. So if you do the latter formula that I talked about with it off, you will convert more leads over time because the mandate on just pushes a lot of people away from you.
And it's a good way for you to kind of get your hands around building your pipeline, I would think.
So a lot of people say, you know, this plays into last week's webinar that we did. You know, a lot of people say lead with no phone is not a good lead, but so is a lead with a fake phone number, and so is a lead that. So is just any lead that comes in on day one. 99% of them are not ready to work with you. So I say leave it off, and then we'll get off that soapbox.
Moving on.
Your coach or broker might have different opinions, so it's up to you.
Right.
Okay. Website title.
Now this is pretty darn cool. When someone is sent to your website and they, you know, there's that little tab at the top of your browser. When you hover over that tab, if it's been updated, you're going to see the whole entire string of what you may have called your website. So like someone went into my dashboard and called it Annalisa's Realty Extravaganza Portal Mobile Office. I mean, that's quite a mouthful, right? But you can actually go into that and write out something. So when people are hovered over the tab of your site, it'll read some information. And it's also another way for you to connect your name, your brand with them visually.
All right, so I'm going to do this. St. Petersburg, Florida, homes and condos for sale, which is where I happen to live, and I'm going to refresh. And now, in my browser, it says what I wrote. And remember, this is the headline that's going to show when people Google and find your site, right? So
well, that's actually the meta description. That's separate.
Yeah, the title is the first line. The meta description is the second line.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So here, let's actually look at a result here. So this part is the part that I just filled in.
Mm-hmm.
And this part is your meta description.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of sites will automatically generate these. You have the power to kind of control them.
And this works well. For mine, it just has an example like first class service and then the line find the best, you know, listings in Carlsbad homes for sale or something. But you can actually, you know, as he was speaking, you know, customize this to speak to yourself, create that first impression on that search and so forth.
Yep. So I'm not going to get too far into SEO, but a lot of times you can echo back a few of the keywords here that you want to be found for, but also make it kind of sell. So I like to use foreclosures, fixers, price reductions, and other deals in St. Pete, Florida, or search all listings or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to this from an SEO perspective, but it's more and more, Zillow's kind of won the game, and some other big portals. So don't obsess over this. It'll just come in on the really long tail
Right.
stuff.
It's a
long
nice
tail searches.
added bonus to add on there for sure.
Yep. Use office phone number on website instead of smart number.
Some folks do like to have just the regular office phone number for like the physical brick and mortar office to be there instead of the smart number. It's completely up to you and or your brokerage. The thing about the smart number is, if I say I'm a lead in Ryan's dashboard and I call the smart number and he's got my number, as my contact, the system's going to know automatically that I as a lead belong to him and will route me directly to him via the smart number. So the smart number is just designed to always route people directly to the person of which they are attached as a contact.
Got it. Somebody asked where the smart number displays. It's in the footer. I do believe it also shows up in a few other spots.
Yeah, depending on the settings, yeah. Now, Cody, if you want to find your smart number, you're going to go into your dashboard and, I don't have one open. Let me see here. Hold on. I believe it's via the call capture.
Yeah, it'll be under lead engine.
Yeah, lead engine call capture. And he's saying, hey, can I anchor my phone number up there? Right, so that's where you can say, do I want my smart number to land up there at the top right, or do I want my office number to land there? And the cool thing is within kvCORE, agents can also purchase their own unique smart number, and that's just a whole other ballgame of leveraging options.
Cool. I kind of scrolled down here accidentally. Here, let's go back up. Okay, so we're plowing through. We got a lot more settings to talk about here. This is a good one. Ask unit on the valuation sign-up form. I don't see when you would have that to know, but maybe there's cases. There must be. Go ahead.
Well, I've heard like there's a lot of condo places in maybe the southern water states like Florida, Louisiana, up the like with the Carolinas, that have those unit numbers, and that's why we wanted to make sure we had that additional information too.
Yeah, that I know. I just don't know why you'd want it off. I would always want it off.
Off, right?
Maybe because I live in one of those places. Condos all over the place. So yeah. So this is what it's referring to. You can toggle off the optional unit number. Okay.
And Kate had a question. If you purchase your own number and move to another brokerage, does a smart number go with you? I would really recommend that you ask that question via the support channel. I do know that if an agent or someone decides to leave, they can purchase the smart number. I would think it could transfer over with you if you're moving to someone within the same, using kvCORE. But really, it's important that you check with support on that.
Yeah, this brings up another good point about our team add-on. One of the reasons that teams like to do that is if they do move in the future, nothing changes with your instance of kvCORE. You just change the information about the parent brokerage.
Right.
On front end of your site, but you keep your database, your numbers, everything in place. So just something to think about.
Whoop, and they grab that database for the team and just pop it into the new home, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. So ask unit, recruit text. This would be on the recruiting landing page, right?
Right. So only if you have added information in via the recruit section will the we're hiring show up on the drop down for your agent or agents. Yeah. So everything that's at the top here, like we currently have a surplus of buyer and seller leads, this little video is all static and something we provide. And then there's a little form where people can email you directly from the system. And anything you add into the recruiting text area lands at the bottom of that page. And I've seen people add in job descriptions, photos, videos, HTML. There's a lot you can do in there.
Yep, and I'll also remind everybody that you're totally free. I'll hear occasionally that, maybe they don't like the video we have there and stuff like that. You're totally free to make your own landing pages for recruiting as well. So this is just
Right.
specifically for our recruiting page, the
Right.
built-in
And
one.
yeah, and you can build one as a custom page very easily.
Cool. Let's see. Somebody trying to buy me drinks in the bottom right. I got distracted. Thanks, Corby. All right. So now this is kind of a meaty section. I might loop back to these later, but let's just quickly talk. You have the ability to put third-party scripts and texts into the custom header, custom body,
Right.
and custom footer fields on your site. So this is where you can see I have a Facebook pixel code. This is where you'll often put your retargeting pixels and stuff from third-party apps, custom body, and custom footer. And it'll all depend on what kind of the app is and where they recommend you put it. In my experience, most scripts will work in any of these three interchangeably, so don't worry too much if what you're downloading or trying to integrate doesn't tell you where to put it. Just put it in one of these three boxes. This conversion code is a snippet of code that fires only when a lead signs up on your site. So if you have conversion, Google in particular gives you a specific conversion code. That's where that would go right here. And you may, if you're using third-party tracking services, it's kind of advanced, but you may want to put your pixels in here for that as well. Custom chat widget. I love this one. Really powerful. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some options here. Sonia, we're working on the custom header section, the custom inserts that I'm kind of scrolling on.
We're still inside the general section at the top, getting towards the bottom of the general section.
Yep. So Facebook user, the custom chat widget. This is if you want to override the chat with us.
Right.
And one of the big things these days that you'll probably see a lot of is the ManyChat Facebook bots and things like that. And if we have time at the end, I'll talk a little bit about those. But if you have a third-party chat service, Collect Chat, Intercom, Drift, or ManyChat, one of my favorites, you can put that code in there. Facebook username for chat. My username is House Your Mom because I've been selling real estate since Facebook, before Facebook came out. When Facebook came out, I was still like 25.
Is that like on Prodigy or something?
Yeah, and I was very mature. House Your Mom was like my deal. So, and it's stuck with me because you can't change your Facebook username. So facebook.com/houseyourmom if anybody wants to friend me up. But that's it right there. So you put that right there, and then the chat out of the box will now link to your messenger.
Right.
For your Facebook Messenger directly. So if somebody tries to chat with us, they're going to be chatting with you directly through Facebook.
Yeah, it'll just connect them right up on Messenger, and then you'll have the ability to respond on your desktop or your mobile.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, that's really cool. There's also some, I've never really thought much about this, but there's also some opportunity when you're writing blog posts and doing calls to action to say, hey, just click my chat button and talk to me on Facebook now. So remember that people can kind of do that and start talking to you right away.
Right.
And use that in the conversation, in the content you're creating. Additional address, is this like a office address, I assume?
Right. So maybe you have a primary brokerage address, which is on here, but you have your own brick and mortar, or you have your different office. Maybe it's a satellite office. You could add that additional information here.
Gotcha. Be careful with compliance stuff here. I don't know if you want to put your home address or anything that's not really licensed to state there, but yeah.
Right.
Okay, testimonials. So we're getting to the second section, right?
Right. So testimonials. First, we'll speak to getting those Zillow reviews connected, and then we're going to go to a different section, and I'll show you where you manually add other testimonials you may have collected. So there's two types of testimonials you can actually bring in here. The first of which is the Zillow review. So all you need to do is drop in your, I think it says your Zillow screen name, or the email of which that you sign in with Zillow, but it needs to match, that email needs to match the email of which you're signing in with kvCORE. So If those match, we will pull in that Zillow review automatically.
You know, I haven't used Zillow for this, so I'm gonna not show a live example. Is there a site where you know that there are live examples of this?
I was looking for one prior and I did not find it just before this. So when I have it, I'm going to drop a link on the doc.
Okay. Just know that
But
it's possible to pull in your Zillow reviews.
Yeah, and what'll happen is when you've added these, when you've added the manual testimonial, it's going to actually manifest a little testimonial option on your agent dropdown.
Okay. Okay. Inherit testimonials from children websites. This is like for the main brokerage site, or if you're a team leader, then everybody else's testimonials will show up on your site.
Right.
Where do they show up? I forget.
So it should be, well, okay, so the Zillow testimonials and the bulk of the testimonials, that you manually add will show up as a little tab within your agent. There you go, testimonials PHP. So there you go. Now, also within the system, testimonials run about 2/3 down. Like if you go to the primary domain, like your first page, when you scroll down, you will see testimonials running at the bottom of the site just about. So it's going to show you like, the multi-property, single property, land, etc. And then the testimonials will run a little further down the page.
I'm trying to go to the main demo site. Maybe it'll
Yeah, so it'll show up right below these in areas. It'll show up right under those like areas we cover as those different carousels.
Okay.
And then it'll rotate. So if you have like, 5 to 10 of these guys, it'll rotate them through, similar to the homepage photo. It'll refresh, show something new, refresh, show something new.
Just a little hack with testimonials for your past client automations in your smart CRM. Definitely throw an email or a text in that goes out a few days after the deal and say, hey, if you could do me a favor, it'll really help my business. Click here and leave a Zillow review, or click here and leave a Facebook review, and they can go to your Facebook page and leave a review, or Google, right there. And also, they can also, like I just did, do it on your site at testimonials/PHP. So just ask for a testimonial using the automation is a big tip there.
And we did have a gentleman, an agent, share with me like a little checklist that he sends people to prompt them and say, hey, here is where you go to leave this review. And here is, how you would log in. So he like says, this is what would help me. Thank you so much. Here are my links. He makes it really easy for them to click and go.
Yeah, and a good reason to get reviews, of course, if you do get into retargeting and you got people out in your site, testimonies are a great thing to show people on a retarget to help build trust, or even to put, in the PS of your emails and your drip campaigns, like a recent testimonial, just like in bold or whatever, and just put that just to sort of build that top of mind status and trust
right
at the touch points. All right, templates. We got the hero and the foundation. So I've been showing you the whole time the hero, right? Let me go back to
right. Hero has a lot of functions that you can change up, adjust, and so forth. It has a lot of interesting things of which you can really apply to customize it.
Yes. Yeah, let me get back to the main demo here. Okay. And then let's just switch back to foundation.
So yeah, foundation is like the legacy site that we had originally with the conversion days, and it's a great site. It's very well built. It's just a little more, I guess, basic, but not basic like in a bad way. But it's just simple in the means of navigation, and a lot of people also use this as well. But it does not have as much capability of editing content.
Cool. So once I select hero, I'm going to stick with that. And then I have lots of different options here.
Right.
So with color schemes. So if I did, now I've got my orange going. So you can quickly skin this to whatever your logo is probably going to be the best thing to do. Make it look cool with your logo. And your, the branding of your brokerage.
Right.
Okay, easy enough. Let's get into some freaky deaky crazy stuff. Background video YouTube ID.
This is fun stuff, and it's real important to pay attention to where it says background, you know, ID. That's the part that kind of fumbles people up a little bit, because you don't put the entire link in and save for the background video. So what Ryan's going to do is grab a video and we'll show you what exactly to leave in there.
Yeah. Here's a video from 10 years ago that I did. My goodness. Oh, it's not YouTube. Isn't that weird? Somebody scraped my video.
Whoa.
And used it to rank. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we go. I'm sorry, guys. That usually only happens on suspect sites. Here we go. Give me 1 second. So what I like for these, the reason I'm doing this is what I like for these is tours of properties. This is my personal, you know, kind of thing that I like. Here's that video. And what we're going to grab is the ID at the end. This is called a parameter up here, where it says V equals in the YouTube URL up top. And it's the thing after the V. This is your YouTube ID.
Yep.
So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to paste that in here and click Save.
Right, and then the video will play. There's no sound, but it'll play on desktop when people arrive, and it supersedes the home page image that you may have chosen. Now, one thing about these videos is they're designed to play on desktop only, because we don't want to bog down someone's data of which they may be paying for on their phone or their system. So it's going to show the homepage photo on mobile, and it will play the video on desktop.
Yep. So there we go. This is.
And it only looks like trippy right now because we're like, how many connections? When you're in real time, it's very smooth.
Yeah, no, and that's my video is really herky-jerky, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I was doing this on a phone. I was using this. Remember the old flip cameras?
Oh, wow.
Cameras first came, those ones you held in the end? That, like,
right.
Yeah, I was using like a $40 flip camera, and it was low quality. But what's this down here? You see this ribbon? It's showing my title right there. I never even noticed that. It's pretty cool. So I like this from an SEO perspective. It's smart of our developers. It's echoing the title, but it's putting the title in the body of the page as content. It's pretty smart SEO stuff.
So, and that matches the meta tag, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the main title.
The same thing. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's kind of smart because Google's looking for those keywords to show up early on in your page so you can rank for them. So just a little bonus on that. And then here's the video playing in the background. You could, so you can have a video of yourself touring a property. You could have yourself talking to a client, right? Something like that. Just lots of options there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a guy who does the houseboats. That's his thing. And he did a video of helping somebody off of a houseboat because that's how he tours the houses with them. So he helped them off the boat to go see the houseboat. That's one of the videos that he had. So you can be real creative based on what your target is, your niche. Maybe it's a listing, who knows.
Awesome. So hide the chat widget. We kind of explored that a minute ago. It's pretty self-explanatory if you don't want to show it at all, right? And there is cases, if you're using other third-party scripts like a hello bar or something, I might get to at the end. It might just be in your way, so you just want to turn it off. Use full width custom area. I don't know what that is.
So when we're looking, see how it's blacked out? If you're up at the top, see the black margin?
Yeah.
You can actually expand that over.
Well, that's useful. So it's going to make it look right, because that was driving me nuts.
It should, yeah, it should stretch it out.
Well, it didn't, but that could be cached too. So.
And the size of the video, perhaps as well. I don't know.
Yeah. And that setting may only apply if you don't have a video. So it could be the orientation of my video while we're seeing the black here. And then if I didn't have a video there, which let me take it out.
Yeah, normally when you have the custom images in there, you'll see them kind of adjust out, like pull out a little bit.
There we go. And then these settings will work. So these might be only for if you don't have the video installed. I'm thinking.
Right, and you can also make the that section deeper as well. So there's like expand it out, and then you can also make it deeper. So it's like maybe a third long, like longer.
Okay, just to make your images look cooler. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, use primary color for header. So that would be if you don't want to have an image in the header, I assume. So if I had none of my banners chosen, right?
Right.
And then I came up here. It should use the primary color. I will mention, guys, I kind of expected, and at least you did too, that some of the CSS changes and things that we're doing might not show right away on your site.
Mm-hmm. And
you might have to open a new incognito window or something to see them take place or hold a little bit, because there's some caching and things involved.
yeah, and that is a very important point. Some of it's not instantaneous, so go in with that expectation that you're going in to affect change. You can preview it. You can pop in there, but sometimes if it doesn't show up right away, give it a little time to process through, and then check again. And if it doesn't show at all, of course, always still welcome to talk with support. But just go with the expectation that it's not instantaneous for every adjustment.
Yeah, and I might have had that check stuff. All right, so we're not going to obsess on that. Hide agent image on homepage. Use square. I'm going to kind of glance over these. Hide the office name on homepage. Use square agent server image. This would be if you want it to be square instead of round, right?
Correct. So it'll be that image right in the middle. Yep.
Yeah, so now it went square instead of round. Just a small tweak, but nice touch. I was a little clumsy there. I accidentally closed out that browser page.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to click. There's a lot of clickies here.
Yeah. Use primary color, use dark background image, hide agent image on the homepage, use large background image. I think these are mostly things that you guys can toggle and play with and just be aware that they're there.
Well,
now,
this is cool stuff. This is really cool stuff.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'll let you take this.
Well, basically, you have the ability to rename those tabs at the top. So if you're looking at the doc, or I don't know, it's actually not up in front of the screen right now, but basically, like I had named mine, like the valuation page, I renamed it Show Me the Money. I had renamed, like we're looking for movers and shakers. So I named the search like What You Looking For. So you can actually edit those different titles across the top, which is pretty neat.
So my search I've renamed to Find for Opportunities. My sell I've renamed to See Your Value. Finance, Get Money.
Right.
Get Money. Okay, cool.
Yep.
If you're not using Get Money for the finance tab, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's way better than finance.
Yeah, give free money and then have like a link to like the down payment assistance grants or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but why isn't my just a question? Why isn't my Get Money showing? Is that because I don't have a lender attached?
Correct. You do need to have that lender there to have that finance tab connected.
Other stuff. Work with us. You get the picture. So, okay.
And it gives you that opportunity to kind of give it your own personality as well, which is kind of fun.
Oh, this is a big one that I didn't know about here. So, very cool. The hiring link, you can override it going to recruit.php.
Yes.
All right. My video I made there is like 2 or 3 years old. There's like a video with my voice that my cousin made pretty. I remember. But I think for most of us, we're going to want to do, if you're really recruiting at a high level, you're going to want to do your own video, talk about why your company's awesome. So you definitely, I would build a landing page or a custom page or a blog post or a Facebook
all of those
video or something, and link to that instead.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have our recruit page there as kind of like a training wheels or getting started. All right, select custom pages for navigation. What am I doing here? I get it.
Go ahead.
I think I get it. I'm going to guess. You'll tell me if I'm right. Does this mean I can create a custom page and then I can add it to the navigation?
Yes, sir. So for instance, on one of my test sites, I said created something like the most popular neighborhoods in XYZ. You know, maybe it's something of that nature, or you want to talk to lender programs, but you can create your own navigation tile across the top, just like the ones we just renamed.
Okay, so one of my favorite topics, and we're gonna have to do a session on this one day, is using your existing real estate traffic to make affiliate offers to your customers. And real estate is unique in that you have this whole like world of brokerage and selling properties and all this, but then you have this whole make money part where everybody knows investing in real estate is a way to get rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on a tangent here, but this is a great opportunity to maybe advertise an affiliate webinar about investing or something related.
Yes.
You know, right there.
Network.
So just so everybody who's watching, you just got the price of admission right there, and you can, you know, let me know on Facebook or something how much you make from that tip. But definitely, that's a custom page idea. Okay. Select categories for navigation. So that's custom categories.
Yes.
Of custom pages.
Yes, you could say, well, what do I want these to really be? What, you know, what categories do I want to have showing or no?
Okay. So if you do the custom, could you have child pages under that category?
Right. So there's two tabs of which you can have in it, like if you've got two tabs that you can actually create and have additional, and then like those would be like the parent tabs. And then as you create custom pages, that's a separate tool, and those live within, so that you can have all those little categories living within those tabs.
Do you
so
have
like
this live on your site? I kind of want to show people.
I do. So go to the Annalisa B.ts, I think, or I'll send you the link. I think I've got it right here. Let's see. Hold on.
What we're talking about, you see how when you float here in the nav, it kind of drops down? I just want to make sure everybody understands what the heck we're talking about. This is how you can, in the navigation, make stuff drop down. Am I saying that right?
Yes, and I sent it to you in Slack, but I think I'll send it to you in chat instead.
I got it.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, there you go, Tom Hanks. But you can see there, you know, you've got the site. Or wait, do you have it up in front of you? No, maybe he's getting it.
Yep.
You there? Uh-oh, Ryan, are you still with us?
It's probably bogging down because of your video.
Yeah,
I know why.
I can remove it, but basically it gives you the ability to build in subcategories. I can pop into my dashboard and change that out real quick.
Okay, guys. Sorry about the audio issues. It's just GoToWebinar. It gets when we try to do too much, it gets slowed down. Okay, so custom pages for navigation. In the replay, that should show fine, Annalisa, so I'm going to keep going.
Yep.
You can hide the resources tab. You can hide or leave the finance tab and the we're hiring link.
Yes.
All right.
So you can create like we're hiring and have it show up while you're recruiting, and then you can hide it, but always have it available to add back in additionally. So it's pretty nice.
Cool. How's everybody doing? Can somebody just chime in? Are we moving too fast? Are you learning some new things that you can do, bells and whistles? I would love some feedback in the comments, and we're going to keep on going here. So listing carousels.
Right. So a few minutes ago when we looked at the testimonial where it would land and kind of, you know, update as people refreshed, those carousels land above those testimonials. So when you're at your main page, like your main landing page, below where it says, you know, like single family homes, multifamily homes, land, etc., you'll have these carousels here where it says just listed, just reduced, etc. And you can choose what you want to land here.
So I'm going to put open houses, just reduced, just listed. And I have suggested, I think it's taking it to the roadmap. I think they're going to put price per square foot somewhere in this mix. and a few others. So we're going to have some new carousels, like
That'll be
lowest
great.
price per square foot, highest, or those might become sort of like,
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good point. Stacy, Stacy, you can watch the replay, and I'm much slower on replay. But I want to take out the child my listings because we've had somebody not hire me because I don't have a current listing. It's a really good
point.
Good. That should be an easy one to do. So I just put a little note on the side to mention that to the guys, to the team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want it to show nothing. Okay. Yeah, Stacy's saying, can it be replaced with agency listings? That would probably be the best. I agree.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and it can be. You know, I mean, I know that's doable. We just need to get it on the list of things to do. All right, so Google Analytics ID. If you're using Google Analytics, it's a whole topic in and of itself. To see what your traffic's doing, you can put the ID in right here.
Right. Agents is more of a top-down, you know, kind of area. The first one is, at least.
Okay, so this is kind of like the admin setting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it allows, you know, admin to add in, you know, if you want someone to show on the roster, but they don't have a seat, they can still show on the roster, basically. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, use agent info.
Right, so are we going to pull that?
Like
a little bit of a delay, but basically it's saying, do you want to use what you entered in as your tagline on your website homepage? Yes. Instead of having the parent side, the parent brokerage, you know, landing down on yours, you could make it your own with your own tagline.
Great. Do not use title realtor wording. I guess there's some cases where you might not want to. Listings.
This is an uber important one. Super important. So some folks are like, gosh, why aren't condos showing up? Or you know, we have rentals, where are they? So this is where you're going to go in and put a little check on every type of listing of which you represent, that you want to have shown on your website. So it's real important that you give this the once over or the twice over, and you know, make sure you're getting those correct listings to land on your site.
So if I wanted to, and I'd say, hey, that I'm only going to sell land because I don't like home inspections and I like cash closing, I could uncheck everything here and make my whole business about land, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or multifamily or condos. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then contingent is whether or not it shows contingent properties.
Right.
Under contract.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that off because I don't like having to explain to people.
Is it available? And you're like, oh.
Yeah. So
and
go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, coverage only is also an important aspect because this is asking you, because at the bottom of everyone's website, there's a section called areas we cover, and that's what it's called on the front side. And on the back side, we call it, I believe it's the SEO landing pages or area pages. And this is where the system is saying, do you want to limit your website to show only listings within the counties of which you have chosen for your SEO landing pages, areas we cover, or do you want to include the whole MLS? So that's where you're going to be like, okay, do I just want to show what these types of listings in the area I service? Because then you can set those up in your SEO landing pages very easily. So this relates to that tool as well, just like the types of listings.
Right, so that's in the areas we cover, and those all direct link to a nice page about each area.
Yeah, and in a separate training, I mean, with SEO landing pages and those areas we cover, you can also use that information as unique links because we're pulling it directly from your MLS, and you can also enhance that information with maybe it's community information or something like that.
Yeah, so I'll show you an example of what we mean. This is kind of a page for a zip code, the zip code I'm in right now. Oh, it's not pulling because I'm not on a site. Our demo site doesn't cover this area, so it's looking
Right.
wonky. That's kind of the
It's
idea.
all
It's showing it.
Florida. We're in New York.
Yeah. But try it on your site, and you'll see what we mean.
Yeah, it's really neat. And if you just click on any of those names, you'll be able to see all this information of which we're pulling, like the least expensive, the most popular property, the history of the properties in that area. It's chock full of information.
Great. The default sort, I didn't know you could do this, but I love this. You can sort by popularity, price.
Yep.
I like to go from either highest to lowest or lowest to highest because I find that seeing a really cheap or a really expensive property draws people in as a default. But you can always override this as you're creating your links and sending people to the site.
Right. And it's the same with the display. You can choose, there's 3 different methods of which you can display properties as well as a default.
Yeah, so this is what we're referring to. So by default, I've got it sorting from highest to lowest. And then I could also do list or map search.
Right. And the cool thing about map
but if
is
I change any of,
go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, when people use the map on the front side, similarly to how you can use it on your alerts, they can actually draw a polygon and set up a little alert for themselves within that polygon. So, and they can opt in for a market report. So there's all sorts of goodies that we build in that you can send out that they can opt into, so your branding is hitting them and sending them content of which they are seeking. So it's a real cohesive system.
Excellent. Okay.
Now,
so
popular options, this is the best to me.
Okay, I'm going to leave my default display to
Oh,
and then you tell me about the popular options.
Yeah. Popular options. So if you have, so let's say like in your own area, you have filters of which you use a lot of in your own MLS. So for instance, on the test account of which we're in, it's like, how did the water get heated? How did the water get to the house? What is that parking situation like? So you can add in these filters pulling directly from your MLS to be options within your own dashboard, which will also reflect as an option on the front side of your domain for those consumers out there using your site. So this can come in really, really handy to speak to those specialty things that people are looking for a lot in your area, perhaps.
Right, parking, pets allowed is a good one. It's been years since I tried this, but I remember doing a case study where I was running condos that allowed pets, and it performing really well as a lead generation idea. It was probably a conversion site a few years ago. So it was like Chicago condos that allowed dogs.
Right. Well, and oh gosh, I think so much money could be made by targeting folks who are stuck in apartments and don't know they could buy a house and they have a fenced yard for their dog or something. Target those folks.
So Stacy had a question, can I target equine properties? This might be close to what you're trying to get at. I don't know if it's in there. And I don't know that we'll be able to sort, change the order.
Well, what if I can't think of anything offhand right here where it could be we could create a widget for it, but that is a separate training. You can put widgets in, like with those carousels of like areas we cover just listed and so forth. You can also create a custom page that's all about equine. So no matter if you're talking about 3-day eventing, dressage barns, cutting, reining, what have you, you can create and say, this has got the perfect barn. Here's all the ones with the hot waters and hot water and hot walkers or a track or what have you. You can build specialized content for things like that into custom pages. And then you can use those in your ads, sending them out within your drip campaigns to send people for more information. There's a lot of ways you can apply those.
Great. Okay, so we just ran through all these toggles and switches. I'm really glad we got this recorded. I think the feedback has been good from people. I learned a lot. about what we can do
It's so
with these buttons.
robust. So
Yeah,
robust.
there's a lot we can do. Here in the doc, I had some extra stuff. These, the more I think about it, the bonus scripts, we went through the header, the footer, and so on. I'm going to kind of leave this and mention this stuff really quick, and I think that these sorts of things might be topics for a course in the Learning Portal or a future webinar. We've already gone 50 minutes or so, but I'll just mention really quickly, because I said I would, that you can put retargeting pixels in. You can use something like hellobar.com, platform I really like to do page takeovers, bars, pop-ups, sliders, push notifications. So you can sort of extend out the functionality from a lead gen perspective on your site by installing scripts. Push notifications, there are separate services. If you want to integrate ManyChat.com or Facebook Messenger, other chat box, Intercom, Drift, Collect Chat, and Thanks.io, which will be in the marketplace here real soon. You have the ability with Thanks to collect addresses of people and then send them postcards in the mail via this allow address box up top here. So things like that. The other thing I'll mention quickly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but you're fine. Go ahead.
So, and then finally, the marketplace design options. We just kind of talked about everything that was built in with those toggles. Just know that in the marketplace inside of kvCORE, you have some additional design options that'll change the way your site looks or give you a totally different site that under the hood has all the property functionality and integrates with the back-end CRM stuff. And those options are the new Agent Fire Spark sites. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, same time as today, we'll have the founders of the owners of Spark sites on talking about that solution. So if you can make that, great. If not, we'll get you the recording here. And that's a really nice WordPress site out of the box with a lot of bells and whistles as well. We have our WordPress plugin if you want to custom develop your own stuff, or hire a developer to build a custom WordPress site, but have it run with our IDX search and again tie into the back end. And then finally, the templated, not that one, semi-custom kvCORE template designs.
Yeah.
This is Cherie, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a provider here, Cherie, who's worked with a lot of our clients and just made some really cool looking designs on the existing platform. So just mention those are all in the marketplace. Yeah. No problem, Stacy. Definitely check out Agent Fire. I think it's an awesome shortcut on the WordPress front. And finally, I think that was it.
Yeah, that's it. I got the doc link out. We will be formatting this. It will be going out via your email. So be on the lookout. About every weekend, we send out a little heads up. Hey, here's a recap from the previous week. So be on the lookout for that. If you've missed the webinars or if somebody else is like, hey, I missed it, you should be like, check your email. Also, you can find these webinars within the chat box at the bottom right-hand side of your dashboard. Ryan will share it out in there, or Marie. And then we place them into the groups as well as on YouTube and the Matrix document where all of our docs and videos live. So many, many places you can access all of this, which is great.
Yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. To talk about it, the Agent Fire stuff. For those of you who attend these live, I realize we really appreciate you being here. I know how busy you are. If you are trying to get your team plugged in and other people in your office plugged in and using the platform, I know a lot of people just don't even log in because they're kind of tied into what they do, and you find value in these sessions, just invite them on or shoot them a link to the replays. We really appreciate that. It helps everybody kind of get involved. And I think that's about it. Anything else, Annalisa? I
don't believe so. So we got tomorrow for an all call for all users, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll make sure I believe I dropped the registration links at the bottom of this page, but I'll make sure it's there. And I'll also have it within the recap on the group. So there we have it.
Okay, thanks everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.